I want to talk about remission, and more importantly, the steps that I take to get into remission and the steps that I take to stay in remission, hopefully for as long as possible. So I guess it starts with a flare. So you're in a bad state. This could be you're bleeding a lot, you're in lots of pain, you've got no energy, you're trying to contact healthcare specialists, you might be really stressed, you might not be sleeping much. So step one is to calm down. We want to bring your heart rate down, stop thinking so much about what's going on. So just taking a deep breath, like I just did there, is good. It's a good start. I suggest going out for some walks. Hopefully there's some nature near you that you could walk in. This is a good step to just bring you into a calm state. The next thing is actually doing something proactive. So depending on where you are right now with your condition, that might be contacting a doctor or a specialist, or just trying to work out what's going on, or even calling an emergency service if you feel like you're in a really bad state. Reaching out to someone, that would be the second thing. I think reaching out to someone is a really important step, because just sharing what's on your mind, that's going to clear a lot of those worries straight away. Yes, you're going to still be worrying about, your condition, like how healthy you are right now, but just sharing your experiences with someone is going to help bring that panic down and put you in a state of mind that you feel slightly more in control. Even if you're not in control, it can help you feel that, there's something positive happening. The reason why I really want to mention speaking to a healthcare specialist is because that can really put you in the state of mind that you are getting out of something, that you're getting some steps that can help you move on from the state that you're in. So for instance, I was in a bad flare and I decided I can't handle this anymore. I'm going to ring my specialist. So I get on the phone. Not all specialists answer the phone. And actually, the way my specialist works now, it's changed over the years. It was either by email or phone. Anyway, however you can contact your specialist, do so. So yeah, I was in this really bad flare, and I get on the phone, I ring up the specialist, and I just say, I just really need some help. I don't know what's going on. I'm in a really bad state of mind. Can you help me? And just talking to her on the phone, that started calming me down. She says, don't worry. Yes, you are bleeding. Because for me, I've got ulcerative colitis. I'm bleeding. It's like, yes, you are bleeding, but it's not going to kill you right now. She had access to my most recent blood results. She was like, you're okay for now. Let's just stick with the meds that we've given you and see what happens. And yes, it's going to be hard because the flare I was in, using the bathroom, it was very traumatic experience every time I used the bathroom. But she was basically telling me, you're so inflamed right now. No matter what you eat, it's going to feel horrible when you go to the bathroom. So just eat what you can and stay hydrated, and we'll get through this and we'll go from there. So that's what I did. I just took what she said and I carried on, and I did feel like a weight had been lifted, even though nothing had actually changed there and then. I felt like this weight had been lifted from what I was thinking about. So talking to your specialist, that can really help you get into a better mindset. But also, if you're not on any medications for a really serious flare, or your medications aren't working, it's really important to share that with your specialist, because they can change the medications that you're on, get you on something that will work for you. And that's the key, is finding that medication that will get you out of this flare. So I really suggest getting those medications, finding the one that works for you to get you out of the flare, and then we can think about the other steps, because getting out of that flare is the most important thing for you right now. Reducing those inflammation levels, reducing the stress, the mental stress, not just the physical stress, it's just about calming down and getting through it, basically. You got remember, the body takes a long time to heal from these sort of things. So it's a slow process. Just taking each day as it comes is probably the best approach. Don't make plans. That's what I was doing. I don't plan to do anything other than, things that I had to do that were mandatory for me, such as doing some work or whatever. I would do those, but I wouldn't plan to go out anywhere or anything. It would just be based on, I woke up and I think, today I feel okay. Maybe I'll do something. But I'm not going to make a plan because I think that will lead to disappointment. If you're in a really bad flare, you probably don't feel like going out anyway. But yeah, don't make plans. But do, like I said earlier, go out, get a little bit of walking in. That can really help reset your mind. Or maybe just give you space to think in a more productive way. Because you can get stuck in these loops of thoughts where things are just going like, things aren't going so well, basically. So yeah, it's a headspace thing. It's step one. And then step two was the medication. So let's say medications are working. Maybe you're coming out of the flare, you're starting to heal. I think now is the time to start thinking proactively, what can I eat? So let's think about the foods that don't trigger you to flare with your condition. And this could be applicable to anyone who doesn't even have a condition. Think like if you're lactose intolerant, don't be eating ice cream and drinking milk, especially if you've got IBD. But think about foods that you can start incorporating back into your diet now you're coming out of that flare that's going to give you nutrition, because that's energy. Without the proper nutrition, you're just going to be energyless. So really take your diet seriously. And I really, really suggest don't eat processed foods like chocolate or pizza, because that's not feeding you. That's not going to help you heal and get out of this situation that you're in. Yes, maybe think about that in the future if you want to indulge in that. But just focus on foods that you know are going to feed your body, provide a healing stimulus or the materials needed for your body to heal. And then that way you're fed. So maybe just start making a list of foods that are good for you. And what I mean by good for you is doesn't make you flare and has some nutrition. So I know a lot of people can't eat fiber, but maybe you can eat a bit of salad or something. I know it's very personal. That's why you got to work it out for you and write down those foods that you do agree with and make note of the ones that you don't agree with, or a mental note. You just know where you're at with food. Along with food, obviously you've got physical activity. If your energy levels are coming back, maybe think about doing some resistance training. I highly suggest, even if you're in a really bad flare, try and walk as much as possible. Just stay mobile. I'm not saying like go for long walks, just walk around, maybe stretch a little bit. When I was in hospital and my gut felt like it was very awful, I was walking around the hospital like an old man, but I still made sure that I would walk a little bit. And then as I felt slightly better, I would start like just sitting in a squat, stretching, going out to the hospital field and just being outside, getting some sun, like that sort of thing. As those energy levels return, resistance training, I think that's going to be really useful because you want your body to be stronger for next time. Maybe this flare, you might get another flare in the future and you want to be more prepared for it. You want your body to be more capable. It just helps a lot, especially your well-being as well. Just putting your energy into some physical activity. You don't have to lift weights or anything, but something that you find fun. And yeah, it's going to increase your overall well-being, really. So we've got speaking to your specialist, exercising, diet. And like I said at the start, that speaking to your specialist is a sort of form of engaging with a community. And that would be where I'm leading with this, is join a community. Find like a Discord or a forum or friends in real life that also have IBD and talk to them. And talk to people who don't have IBD and tell them what's going on. tell them about what it's like and find out what they have. They might have a condition that they're dealing with and they've never talked about, and just share those things. And it doesn't have to be the centre of the discussion, but we just bring it up. Just be like, oh yeah, I've got inflammatory bowel disease. I've been dealing with this. What have you been dealing with? And then just go from there. And then just sharing it can help get it out of your mind. And then it doesn't have to be such a mental burden on yourself. Going from all of those things, keeping those in mind. Let's say the magical things happen. You're on a good medication and you're in remission. It's just staying consistent with those healthy habits. Don't eat those foods that you know are bad for you. Like, you could have them once or twice. I would suggest just try and avoid them, like, at all costs, really. But if you do want to eat those bad foods, allow yourself to eat a little bit of it. Like, don't eat loads of it. Don't eat a whole pizza if you know it's going to give you a big stomachache. But eat like a little bit of it if you really want to. And maybe you will get a bit of a tummy ache or something, or like a cramp or something, but it's just part of it. And just be consistent with healthy habits and you will feel better. And going on from that, just research new things. Maybe try some of those herbal supplements as well. Because once you've had the basis of the medication to bring you out of the flare, there's scope for you to experiment those things. Maybe they make you feel 1% better. Well, then it's worth doing, isn't it? So, for instance, I've been testing having some lion's mane mushroom supplements, which supposedly improve your sleep, increase your well-being. Like, apparently there's a variety of benefits for your brain. I wouldn't have tried that when I was flaring, but now that I'm in that state, I can try those things. So that's my main advice for getting out of a flare and staying out of a flare. I'm still learning and I'm on my own journey. Maybe I might end up having a flare soon. Who knows? But I'm going to continue to follow the advice that I've given you. And I hope that this advice can help you guys. It's helping me right now. And I'll see you in the next video. And if you like this, please subscribe and share it. Thank you.